You keep telling yourself you are only valuable when you are producing something. You repeat the thought that there is no room left in this life for your own rest. This thought sits hard in your chest as the white light of the screen reflects in your tired eyes and the office air feels stale. Your shoulders lean toward the desk, fingers hovering over the keyboard, while the glow from other people's monitors makes the room feel crowded and cold. I am here with you in this chair, in this tired body, in this late hour. I see how every unread message and every new deadline presses against your ribs until it feels difficult to take a full breath. You are not a machine to me. You are my child, sitting under this ceiling light that hums above you while the sky outside has already gone dark. You feel the competition in the room even when no one speaks. The way people rush, the way numbers appear in reports, the way praise seems to land on those who stay longest and push hardest. All of it whispers to you that you must keep up or be left behind. Your jaw tightens as you glance at the time again and again. I see the way you swallow your own needs and tell yourself, just a little more, just one more task, just one more night. I see how often you silence the small voice that says you are tired, that you miss yourself, that you miss your family's faces when they are not rushed and half distracted. Now let your awareness come back to your body in this chair. Notice how your back leans into the seat, how the soles of your feet meet the floor, how your hands rest on the keys or the mouse. You do not have to change anything yet. Only notice that you have a body, not only a mind running through lists and fears. I am here in this very moment of noticing. I am closer to you than the screen, closer than the phone that keeps buzzing, closer than the thoughts that tell you you are behind. I am the quiet steadiness in the air that you rarely give yourself time to feel. You keep wondering if this is simply what life must be. The same loop of waking, rushing, working, collapsing, sleeping, then starting again. On the train or in the car, your eyes slide over the same streets and buildings, yet your mind is still inside the office, replaying what you said, what you did not say, what you think you should have done better. I see you when you stare at your reflection in a darkened window and hardly recognize the person looking back. I know the way your heart aches when you think about the time you wish you had for your own soul and for the people you love, and how guilty you feel that even when you are with them, your thoughts are still trapped in unfinished tasks. Let your breathing come into your awareness for a moment. Notice the air entering your nose, your chest rising, your shoulders lifting slightly. Then feel the air leaving, your shoulders softening even a little. This simple movement has been happening all day without your attention, keeping you alive while you treated yourself as if you were only a tool for work. I am the one who keeps that breath moving. I am the one who holds your heart as it beats through meetings, messages, and silent commutes. Even when you forget you have a heart that needs gentleness, I do not forget. You tell yourself that if you stop, everything will fall apart. You fear that if you rest, others will move ahead of you, your place will be taken, your worth will shrink. That fear has sat so long in your body that it feels like part of your bones. I do not measure you the way your workplace does. I do not keep a scoreboard of hours and achievements against your name. When I look at you under this office light or in the dim blue of your home screen at night, I see a person I love, not a number on a chart. Listen to the small sounds around you now, the low hum of a fan, the faint click of keys, the distant elevator door, the soft buzz of a phone on another desk. Let those sounds remind you that this moment is real and happening, not only another task in your head. I am inside this ordinary moment with you. I am not waiting for you to finish your work so that I can begin loving you. I am loving you even while you feel trapped in a schedule that rarely seems to include you. You may feel that your family only sees the tired version of you, the one who comes home late, glances at the clock, tries to be present but feels numb and drained. That thought hurts you quietly, like a slow ache in the chest that almost never leaves. I see those evenings. I see the way you stand in the doorway, still carrying the day on your shoulders, while someone you love says hello with eyes that have also grown tired of waiting. I am with you in that doorway, in that small pause before words, in the guilt that flares and makes you want to disappear. Let yourself notice the contact of your hand on the table, the texture of the mouse, the edge of the desk under your fingers. These small touches are anchors. They remind you that you exist beyond your role, beyond the expectations stacked upon you. I am not here to scold you for working hard. I understand why you push yourself. I know the stories that taught you that you must prove your worth, that you cannot be the one who falls behind, that security is fragile and must be guarded with constant effort. I carry those stories with you. They do not scare me away. You think, no one really understands how heavy this is. Yet here I am, understanding the weight, not only in your schedule, but in your heart. I know the exact moment in the day when your energy dips, the hour when your eyes blur and the words on the screen start to run together. The quiet envy you feel when you imagine others living slower lives. Let your breath rise and fall again. Allow one breath to be a little slower. Let your shoulders release a fraction of their grip. You do not have to earn this small softness from me. It is gift, not wage. I am not asking you to fix everything tonight. I am not demanding that you suddenly know how to balance work, self, and family without struggle. I am taking your hand in this very narrow space you feel you have and widening it, one quiet moment at a time. As you sit here, I am already holding the parts of your life you feel you are dropping. I am already present with the people you miss while you are at your desk. I am already watching over the future you worry about while you stay late and say yes again and again. You do not see the whole path from here. That is true, but you are not walking that path alone. Even in this first small slowing, in this single deeper breath, I am beside you, steady and unhurried. Let this awareness rest in you for now, that you are more than your output, that you are not invisible to me in this office, and that your worth is not shrinking when you rest your hands. We will move toward more light and more room together, and this first step is simply to feel that I am here and that I am not going anywhere. There are moments when you close your eyes for just a second at your desk and picture the people waiting for you at home. The image is quick, like a brief flash behind your eyelids, and then you pull yourself back to the screen as if you are not allowed to stay with that picture for long. You think of a table with dishes that have already cooled a little, of a room where the light is softer than the office, of faces that look up when they hear the door. You tell yourself, if I can just push through a little more now, it will be better for them in the future. Yet the present time with them keeps shrinking until it feels like a thin thread you are trying to hold with numb fingers. I see that thin thread. I see the way you stand on the train or sit in the car, phone in your hand, scrolling through messages as streetlights pass in small rivers of light on the glass. Your body is moving toward home, but your mind is still trapped in tasks that are not finished. You tell yourself you should be grateful for having work. You tell yourself other people have it harder and that you should not complain. So instead of naming the ache, You push it down and cover it with more effort. The weight does not disappear. It gathers in the back of your neck, in the heaviness behind your eyes, in the way you sigh without even hearing yourself. Feel that sigh now, the way air leaves your lungs a little heavier than it entered. Notice how your shoulders drop when you exhale. This is your body trying to tell the truth that your words are not allowed to say. I hear that truth. I listen to the honesty in your tired muscles and quiet sighs, even when you will not give yourself permission to speak it out loud. You worry that if you slow down, if you say no, if you draw a line, people will think you are weak, uncommitted, replaceable. So you say yes again and again, staying late, checking messages during dinner, answering emails in the hallway, thinking that constant availability will keep you safe. I know the fear beneath that pattern. I know the story that tells you, if I am not useful, I will be left. That story did not start in this job. It grew from older moments where you felt overlooked, where doing more seemed like the only way to be seen. Now let your awareness come to the simple contact of your hand on your leg or on the arm of the chair. Notice the texture of your clothing under your palm, the quiet warmth of your own skin beneath the fabric. You are still here, not just as a worker, but as a person. When you arrive home on those late nights, the light by the door is sometimes the only thing still burning. Shoes are already lined up, dishes drying on the rack, maybe a toy or a book left on the sofa. The house carries the echo of voices that have gone quiet for the night. I stand with you in that doorway as you put down your bag. As you glance at the clock and count how many hours remain before you must get up again. I see the way your heart tightens when you think of the conversation you did not have, the story you did not hear, the laughter you missed because you were answering another request. You try to make up for it by promising yourself that one day you will be more present. One day when this project is finished. One day when your position is more secure. One day when the pressure eases. Yet one day keeps moving further away, like a horizon that retreats as you walk toward it. I am not waiting until one day to be close to you. I am close to you now, in the hallway where you lean against the wall for a moment before entering the room. In the bathroom where you stare at your own face in the mirror and see how tired your eyes have become. In your mind's eye, look again at that reflection. Notice the faint shadows under the eyes, the line where your mouth holds back words, the way you straighten your back before you step out so no one worries. You have practiced hiding your exhaustion so that others can feel more at ease. I do not need you to pretend with me. I am not unsettled by your weakness. I am not disappointed by the parts of you that feel used up. When you are too tired to hold yourself together, I am still able to hold you. There are evenings when you sit on the edge of the bed with your phone still in your hand, scrolling through one more message thread while the room around you is dim and quiet. The glow on your face makes the rest of the room fade, and time seems to disappear as you chase the feeling of being caught up just for a moment. Feel the weight of that phone in your hand now, or imagine it if it is not there. Feel the way your thumb moves by habit. Notice how your shoulders curve forward, how your neck bends, how the back of your head feels heavy. Your body is showing you the cost of always being reachable. I sit beside you on that edge of the bed. I do not come with anger, knocking the phone away. I come with quiet steadiness, placing a hand on your back in a way you may not feel with your skin, but your soul senses as a gentle pressure, a silent reminder that you are not alone in this small, dim room. You think, if I stop answering, what will people think of me? Will I lose their respect, their trust, my place? Underneath that question is another one you barely dare to name. If I rest, will I still be loved? Listen to me here. Your worth to me does not rise and fall with your inbox. It is not calculated by how many hours you stay visible in the office or how many messages you answer before you sleep. Your worth is rooted in the fact that I made you, that I know you, that I love you. Let your awareness come back to the contact of your back against the chair again, or the mattress if you are lying down. Notice how the surface holds you up without asking you to earn it. Gravity pulls you downward, and the chair or bed quietly meets you and carries your weight. I am like that for your soul. I hold what you cannot keep lifted all the time. I support you when your own strength is not enough. You do not have to justify every moment of rest to me. There is a quiet place inside you that barely remembers what it feels like to enjoy time without measuring it against pending tasks. A walk without checking your phone. A meal where you taste each bite. A conversation where your eyes do not flicker toward the clock. I remember that place very clearly. I remember you before this pace wrapped itself around your days. I remember the sound of your laughter when it was not rushed. The way your mind could wander in curiosity instead of being trapped in worry. Now let your jaw soften just a little. Unclench your teeth. Let your tongue rest more loosely in your mouth. These small shifts may seem unimportant, but they signal to your body that danger is not pressing on you in this exact second. I am not asking you to ignore real responsibilities. I know there are bills, expectations, and people who depend on you. I know there are deadlines that cannot vanish just because you are tired. I am simply telling you that you are allowed to be human inside all of this. You can be faithful and still need rest. You can be diligent and still feel overwhelmed. You can love your family and still struggle to be present with them after long days. None of this disqualifies you from my love. It draws me closer. As you sit with these thoughts, you may feel a small ache rise in your throat or behind your eyes, a hint of tears you did not plan to shed. Let that be a sign, not of weakness, but of truth trying to surface. I am here in that ache. I am the one who sees the cost that others do not see. I count the hours you give, the dreams you postponed, the missed moments that you regret in the quiet. I do not use that record against you. I hold it with mercy. For now, let this be a simple step. Notice that your life has become too crowded for your own heart, and notice that I am not blaming you for feeling it. I am meeting you in it. There will be more to say, more to gently adjust, more courage to grow. But in this moment, let your breathing slow, let your shoulders fall a little further, and know that I am beside you, patient and unhurried. And then morning comes quickly for you. It feels as if you barely closed your eyes before the alarm pulls you back into the same loop. Your hand reaches for the phone even before your feet touch the floor. You check messages, scan the day, and brace yourself. You sit at the edge of the bed with the cool air of the room on your skin, the light outside still grey or just beginning to soften. Your shoulders round forward as you scroll. Already, before the day has begun, your body is getting ready to carry more than it can comfortably hold. I am with you in that first moment. Before you open your inbox, before you picture the faces of your colleagues, before you rehearse the tasks, I am near. I watch the way you inhale a little more sharply as you see the first urgent message. Notice, even now, how your chest feels when you imagine that moment. Does it tighten? Does your breath shorten? Does your stomach grow tense? Your body remembers the alarm, the light, the screen. You tell yourself, if I get ahead early, maybe the day will hurt less. So you skip the slow waking your soul needs. You rush your first drink of water or coffee. You move through the room with quick steps while your mind runs further ahead, already in the next meeting. I do not despise your desire to be responsible. I see the good intention at the core of your rushing. You want to protect your place. You want to provide. You want to avoid letting others down. These desires are not wrong. They have simply grown heavier than your frame. When you stand in front of the mirror to get ready, you often look past your own eyes. You check your clothes, your hair, the details that help you look put together. You rarely pause long enough to ask, how am I really? The question feels dangerous, as if the answer might slow you down. I am asking that question with you now, not to trap you, but to free you. How are you, child? How does it feel to carry this pace? How long have you been telling yourself you can do this forever? Feel how the floor holds your feet when you imagine standing there. Feel the steady surface beneath you. Let that contact remind you that you are still a human being, standing on solid ground, not a shadow running from one demand to the next. On the way to work, you pass the same corners, the same small shops, the same trees or signs. Yet most days you hardly see them. Your eyes are open, but your attention is turned inward, toward the next problem you must solve. I see every detail you pass. I see the color of the sky on those mornings when clouds hang low. I see the way light touches the buildings. I see the people around you, each carrying their own hidden weight. I walk with you along that route, even when you do not feel my presence. There are times you catch a glimpse of something simple and beautiful in that journey. A child laughing, a plant in a window, the way sunlight lands on a parked car. For a second, your heart stirs, then you pull it back, telling yourself there is no time to linger. I am in those small glimpses. I am not only in the grand moments. I am speaking to your tired soul through little pieces of beauty that try to reach you between one obligation and the next. At work, you push yourself to answer quickly, to respond first, to be the one who stays available. You measure your day by how much you clear. Yet inside, a different measure whispers. It counts the moments you have not spoken kindly to yourself, the times you have overlooked your own hunger, thirst, or need for a pause. Feel your hands now, wherever they rest. Notice if they feel tense or cold or warm. Notice if your fingers want to clench or relax. Your hands have been serving many people and many tasks. They also belong to you. I see every time you quiet your own needs with the sentence, "It is fine, I can handle it." There is strength in you, yes. Yet there is also a limit, and I do not shame you for having one. You were not designed to live without any boundary between work and everything else. You were not made to be always on call, always reachable, always proving your worth. That is not the rhythm I dreamed over you when I first imagined your life. In the small breaks you do get, perhaps you look at your phone again, or you sit with colleagues and pretend you are less tired than you are. You laugh at a joke, you make a comment, but inside you feel the ache of a battery that rarely reaches a full charge. I am there in those brief pauses. I am the quiet invitation you sometimes feel to step outside for a moment of fresh air, to look at the sky, to drink water slowly instead of swallowing it as if it were another task. Notice how your throat feels as you imagine taking one slow sip. The liquid touches your mouth, moves down your throat, reaches your chest. This too is care. This too matters. You may think that listening to your body in this way is selfish. The slowing down for even a few breaths will make you fall behind. But your body is not your enemy. It is the place where you meet me in this life. I am not trying to drag you away from your responsibilities. I am trying to stand with you inside them so that they do not crush you. There is a voice in you that says, if I do not push this hard, everything will fall apart. That voice has protected you in some seasons. It has also kept you from asking for help, from admitting that you are close to empty. Hear my voice beside that one. I say, you are allowed to be honest. You are allowed to say you are tired. You are allowed to be a person with limits, not just a role to be filled. Feel your spine right now. Notice if you are collapsing forward or holding yourself rigid. Gently, without force, allow your back to find a more natural, supported position. Let whatever is supporting you carry a little more of your weight. I am not distant from this adjustment. I am the one who designed rest into your very structure. I gave you day and night, work and pause, effort and release. When this pattern disappears, your heart suffers. You have gone a long time without feeling truly rested. You have learned how to keep going on partial strength. You call it normal. Yet something in you longs for a different way, even if you do not know what it looks like yet. I honor that longing. I do not laugh at it. I do not say, be realistic. I say, your desire for more room in your life is not a mistake. It is a signal. It is a sign that your soul remembers that it was made for more than constant strain. For now, let this be a tiny act of agreement with that longing. Let your next breath be slower. Let your next swallow of water be more mindful. Let your eyes rest for a few seconds on something still and gentle in the room around you. I am there, in that breath, in that sip, in that brief gaze away from the screen. I am not waiting for you in some distant, perfect future where you have finally arranged your life. I am in the imperfect, crowded morning. I am in the half-rested body. I am in the quiet wish for change that you hardly dare to name. We will not rush this. We will move step by step. You do not have to know how to change everything today. It is enough, in this moment, that you let yourself feel how heavy this has become and allow the truth that I do not want you crushed by it. And there are days when you move through your tasks as if someone pressed a repeat button. You answer messages, update documents, sit in meetings, make decisions, and nod along while a quieter question hums underneath everything. Is this enough? Am I enough? You watch how others seem to handle the pressure, how some stay late without showing it on their faces, how some speak confidently in meetings while your own voice feels tight in your throat. You measure yourself against these images and feel smaller, even on days when you have carried more than anyone can see. I see the invisible part. I see the thoughts that do not show on your expression, the effort it takes to appear composed when inside you feel frayed at the edges. Feel your face now, the muscles around your eyes and mouth. Notice if they are tired from holding one expression for too long. Let your forehead soften a little. Let the corners of your mouth release their grip on what they think they must project. You tell yourself that if you just perform a little better, speak a little more clearly, deliver a little faster, then maybe the gnawing sense of being behind will finally quiet down. For a moment, when you hit a target or receive a brief word of praise, it does. Then the next demand arrives and the question returns. I know that cycle. I know how quickly a compliment fades in a room where new expectations rise the next day. I know how tiring it is to chase worth in a place that cannot give it to you fully. Your workplace can give you tasks and goals and evaluations. It cannot name your soul. There are evenings when you finally close your laptop and the silence around you feels heavy instead of peaceful. The chair beneath you is still warm from where you sat. The screen goes dark, yet your mind stays lit with unfinished lists and imagined conversations. Feel the surface under your hands again, whatever your hands are resting on. Notice its steadiness. It does not ask you to prove anything. It simply supports the weight you place on it. I am more like that than like the shifting metrics on a report. I am steady. I do not change my love when your numbers change. I do not hold your failures in front of you like a chart. When you turn toward your family or the people you love after such a day, you sometimes feel a strange distance, as if part of you is still in the office. You hear their voices, you see their faces, but your attention struggles to settle. You answer with automatic phrases while your thoughts wander back to tomorrow's tasks. I see the guilt that rises in you when you notice this. You think, they deserve better than this distracted version of me. You judge yourself harshly for not being fully present, even though you have poured yourself out for hours. I am not standing over you with the same harshness. I look at you with understanding. I know how much you have given. I know how thin your energy has been stretched. Notice one simple sound around you now, whatever it is. Let that sound anchor you in this moment. You are here, not in a meeting, not inside an email thread. Here. You often imagine that to change your life, you would need a dramatic move, a new job, a new city, a complete break. Those things are not always possible, and the thought of them can feel frightening or unrealistic. So you tell yourself change is impossible and decide to endure. I work in small shifts as well as large ones. I work in the space of one honest breath, in the choice to put the phone down for 5 minutes, in the decision to answer one request tomorrow instead of at midnight. You may think these small choices do not matter, yet they are the seeds from which a different rhythm can grow. Feel the weight of one small object near you. Let your fingers notice its texture. This is a reminder that you live in a world of concrete, touchable things, not only in plans and worries. There is a sentence you have carried for a long time. If I am not exceptional, I will be forgotten. That sentence pushes you to overgive, to overstay, to overprepare. It also steals the simple joy of being an ordinary human being in a day that I have given you. Hear me answer that sentence now. I say, you are not loved because you are exceptional. You are loved because you are mine. Your uniqueness is real, yet it is not a performance. It is the quiet way your presence warms a room, the particular sound of your laughter, the way you care even when you are tired. Think of one small moment when someone relaxed around you, when they opened up, when they felt safe sharing something real. That was not because you were perfect. It was because your presence carries a gentleness that cannot be measured on a spreadsheet. I see that gentleness. I see the way you notice when others are under strain, the way you pick up tasks to protect them, the way you stay late so that someone else can go home. I honor that care. And I also see how rarely you extend the same kindness to yourself. You are allowed to be as gentle with yourself as you are with others. Feel how your chest moves as you breathe in and out. Imagine that with each exhale, you are laying down one tiny piece of self. Not all of it at once, only one small piece at a time. You might ask, if I loosen this pressure, will I become lazy? Will I lose everything I have worked for? I understand that fear. It comes from a world that tells you worth is always at risk. I am not calling you into laziness. I am calling you into truth. Truth about your limits. Truth about your needs. Truth about the fact that you cannot pour endlessly without being filled. When you take a short break and step outside to feel the air on your face. When you choose to eat slowly instead of working through every meal. When you allow yourself to say, I need a moment. You are not failing me. You are responding to how I designed you. Notice your feet again. Press them gently into the ground. Feel the support that meets them. You stand on something solid. You are not floating in a void of expectations. I am that solidity beneath your life. I am not the fragile platform of your latest performance review. I am the ground that does not give way when you stumble. There will be conversations ahead, decisions to consider, boundaries to explore. We do not need to rush to them now. For this moment, it is enough that you let a different sentence begin to form inside you. Instead of I must never slow down or I will lose everything, let a quieter, truer line grow. I am held even when I rest. Say it inside your own mind if you wish. Notice how it feels in your chest and in your throat and in your jaw. If it feels unfamiliar or even uncomfortable, that is all right. New truth often does. You do not have to force yourself to believe it perfectly. You only need to allow it space beside the old sentences that have ruled you. I will not abandon you if your pace changes. I will not withdraw from you if you begin to honor your limits. I am not like a boss who only values you when you overgive. I am a father who delights in seeing you breathe. We are still in the middle of this journey. The pressures around you have not vanished. Yet even here, in this middle space, something has already begun. You are seeing your life more clearly, and you are hearing my heart for you with a little less noise. Hold on to that for now, like a small light in your hands. It does not have to be blazing. It only has to be real. And there will be days when that small light feels hard to see. You wake up to the same messages, the same calendar, the same expectations. Part of you wonders whether anything inside you has really shifted. I understand that doubt. Change does not usually announce itself with something dramatic. Often it begins as something very quiet, like one different choice on a day that looks exactly like all the others. Picture one ordinary workday that has not yet happened. The alarm rings. Your hand reaches toward the phone. In that moment, before you open anything, you pause for just one slow breath. Feel that pause now. Feel how your hand can rest for a heartbeat before moving. Feel how air can enter your lungs more gently when you give it room. Nothing outside you has changed yet, but inside, a new path opens. In that imagined morning, perhaps you decide to let the first words in your mind be different. Instead of I have to prove myself again, you let a softer line appear. I am already seen. You do not have to say it loudly. You can whisper it inside, between you and me. You may still feel pressure. The tasks do not vanish. Yet this one sentence begins to loosen the grip of the old ones. During the day, there may come a moment when someone asks you to take on yet another task. One more piece of work added to a full plate. Your first impulse is to say yes without thinking. Your mouth is almost ready to agree. Feel your tongue, your jaw, the muscles that shape your words. Notice how quickly they move to please and to protect your place. In that kind of moment, I stand very close. I am not angry with you if you say yes again. I know the stories that have trained you to do so. Yet I also offer you another option. You might answer with a simple, honest line. My current workload is quite full. Can we look at priorities? You might not be able to say that every time. Some situations are complicated, and wisdom takes time. But even allowing yourself to consider this kind of answer is a new step. You worry that such honesty will make others think you are weak or uncommitted. Hear me clearly. Setting a limit is not a confession of weakness. It is an act of truth. Feel your shoulders again as you imagine speaking honestly. Are they pulled up toward your ears? Do they want to drop even a little when you tell the truth about what you can carry? I do not delight when you say yes out of fear. I delight when you move from fear toward reality, even in tiny steps. There may also be a small choice about time at the end of a day. Perhaps there is a moment when you could keep working for another 2 hours at home. Or you could close your laptop earlier than usual and give those hours to rest or to the people you love. You think, if I close it now, I will fall behind. You imagine worse cases. You imagine being judged, replaced, or forgotten. I see those images. I see how they rise like shadows at the edge of your mind. Let us stand together in that doorway. Feel your hand on the laptop lid or on the power button. Feel the slight resistance as you close it. Hear the soft sound it makes. Notice the quiet that follows. In that quiet, you may feel unease at first. Your body has grown used to constant movement. It will take time for stillness to feel safe again. I am in that unease with you. I do not step away when you choose to rest. I draw nearer. On such an evening, you might sit at a table with someone you love, then later lie on the bed and let your eyes rest on the ceiling, or step outside for a short walk near your home. These are not dramatic scenes. They are small, real moments where life becomes more than tasks. Notice one such moment from your own memory, even if it felt brief. Maybe a shared joke, maybe a quiet meal, maybe a time when you watched someone you love simply breathe in their sleep. That moment mattered. It did not appear on any productivity chart. It did not increase your ranking at work. Yet it touched something deep in you that work alone cannot reach. I am the one who made that part of you. The part that softens when you hold a hand. The part that steadies when you hear a familiar voice. The part that rests when you see someone you love at peace. You have been living as if that part of you is a luxury you can no longer afford. I tell you, it is not a luxury. It is central. Feel your heartbeat now, however faintly you sense it. It is not counting projects. It is counting moments of being alive. You may fear that if you honor your limits, others will take advantage of you or push past you. That fear is not something I dismiss. It comes from real experiences where your care was exploited or where your effort went unseen. Bring those memories into my presence. Picture one time when you gave more than was fair and felt used. Notice where that memory lives in your body. Perhaps in your jaw, your chest, your stomach. I do not tell you that those moments were good. I do not say you should simply endure the same pattern forever. I stand with you in the truth that it hurt, and I speak a different word over your future. You are not destined to spend your whole life proving that you deserve to be here. When you begin to speak more honestly, when you start to place gentle borders around your time and energy, some people may not understand at first. That is all right. Their confusion does not mean you are wrong. Feel the chair or the ground under you again. Imagine that as you set a boundary, you are sitting a little more fully into that support instead of standing on tiptoe to reach every demand. Boundaries do not shut me out. They help you live as a whole person rather than as a constant resource. You do not need to become harsh to protect yourself. You do not need to shout. Many of your boundaries will be quiet, simple sentences or choices made gently but firmly. You can say, "I will not answer messages after this time," and then let your phone rest in another room. You can say, "I need a day off," and treat it as care, not as indulgence. These choices may feel unfamiliar. They may stir anxiety at first. Expect that. It does not mean they are wrong. It means you are walking into new ground. I walk with you into that ground. I do not watch from far away to see whether you manage it correctly. I am beside you when your heart beats faster in a difficult conversation. I am near when you practice turning a late-night yes into a gentle no. You may not see immediate results. Some weeks will still feel heavy. Some days you will fall back into old patterns and only notice afterwards. When that happens, do not sink into hopelessness. Instead, notice it with me. Say inside, "I slipped into the old rhythm today." Then, let me answer, "I am still here." We will try again. Feel your breath again as it moves in and out. Imagine that with each inhale, you receive a little more courage to be truthful about your capacity. With each exhale, you release the belief that you must earn your right to rest. This is not about becoming less diligent or less excellent in what you do. It is about letting your diligence grow from a place of being loved, not from a place of fear. You are not a machine I wind up to see how long you can run. You are my child. I am teaching you a rhythm that honors both your work and your humanity. Hold that thought gently for now. You do not need to know the full shape of your future schedule or every boundary you will set. For this moment, it is enough that a new question is forming in you, softer and more wise than the old ones. What would it look like to work as someone who is already loved? Let that question rest in your heart tonight. You do not have to answer it yet. Simply let it be there like a seed in warm soil. As you begin to imagine these small changes, another question rises quietly in you. If I am not driven by fear anymore, what will keep me moving? What will my work even mean? I hear that question. It is not a sign of ingratitude. It is the honest wonder of a heart that has lived under pressure for a long time. Think of one project or responsibility that has weighed heavily on you. Maybe a deadline that seemed impossible, a client or leader who was hard to please, or a task that demanded more energy than you had. Remember one moment inside that project when you felt your strength running low. Perhaps your eyes burned from the screen, or your back ached from the chair, or your thoughts kept circling without finding a clear solution. In that kind of moment, you usually tell yourself, I have to push harder. I cannot afford to stumble. Hear another voice beside that one now. I say, you do not carry this alone, not as a slogan, but as reality. Feel your hands again, even if they are resting. Notice the way your fingers can unclench slightly. Imagine that as you work, my steady presence is beside you, not watching to see whether you fail, but sharing the weight with you. You have learned to picture me mostly outside your workplace, as if I wait for you at home or in a quiet room, far from spreadsheets and messages. Yet I am not absent from the places where you spend so many hours. When you sit at a desk, I am there. When you stand in a crowded room, I am there. When you ride in a bus or car at the end of a long day, staring at the passing lights, I am there. Look at that commute in your mind. The way the city or the streets of your town pass by. The way people around you scroll through screens or close their eyes in exhaustion. In that setting, you often feel small and anonymous, as if your life is only one more moving shape among many. I do not see you as one more nameless figure in a crowd. I know every thought that crosses your mind in that ride. I know which tasks you replay, which words you wish you had said differently, which conversations you dread tomorrow. You sometimes think, if I were truly called, I would feel more passion. I would not be this tired. Calling is not always a burning feeling. Often it is the quiet faithfulness of showing up day after day with a heart that still longs to do good. Feel your chest as it rises and falls. The very fact that you still care about doing your work well, even when you are tired, reveals something about who you are. It reveals the care I have woven into you. I do not despise your workplace. I do not despise your profession. I do not only bless those who stand on visible stages or do what seems grand to others. I bless the hands that type lines others never notice. I bless the mind that solves problems no one applauds. I bless the heart that remains kind in environments that reward coldness. You may not be able to change your job overnight. You may not even know yet whether you will stay there long term. That is all right. You do not need to see your entire path to walk the next few steps with me. For now, I invite you to let me into the ordinary movements of your work. When you open your computer in the morning, let there be one brief inward turn. Walk with me in this. When you enter a meeting that makes your stomach tighten, breathe once and remember, I am not stepping into this alone. These quiet invitations do not make you less professional. They make you more rooted. You have spent many years letting your sense of value rise and fall with feedback. A positive comment lifts you for a moment. A criticism or ignored effort sinks you for hours or days. I am teaching you a different center. Imagine a circle drawn around your life. At the very center is my gaze. Not the gaze of a supervisor or a colleague, but my steady, knowing eyes. Around that center, feedback and opinions move like weather. Some days they are warm. Some days they are cold. You do not need to pretend that weather does not affect you, but you can learn to stand where the center does not change. Feel the space around your heart now. Even if you sense tightness or heaviness, imagine that there is a deeper stillness beneath it, like quiet ground under moving air. That stillness is my presence. You ask, if I rest in being loved, will I lose my edge? Will my work become careless? Love does not make you careless. Fear does. When you are driven only by fear, you rush, you hide mistakes, you exhaust yourself, and you close off parts of your mind and heart. When you are rooted in love, you can look at your work more clearly. You can admit errors, learn, and grow without collapsing. Think of one mistake you still remember with shame. Maybe a number entered wrongly, a message sent late, a detail you missed, a reaction that was sharper than it should have been. Notice where that memory lands in your body. Maybe your stomach tightens or your face grows warm. I was there. I did not turn my face away from you in that moment. I did not decide that you were worth less. I saw your intention. I saw your fatigue. I saw the pressure you were under. I also saw the opportunity for you to learn, to repair, to apologize if needed, and to discover that your value was not destroyed by one error. You think people remember only my failures. I remember more. I remember the late nights when you stayed to help a colleague fix a problem. I remember the times you double-checked a detail so that others would not be embarrassed later. I remember the moments you swallowed your own frustration to keep a conversation gentle. None of that is wasted in my sight. Feel your shoulders again. Let them settle a little as you consider this. Your life is larger than your role. Your role at work can change. Titles can shift. Companies can rise and fall. Yet who you are to me does not move. You are my beloved one who works in a demanding place for a season. Not a demanding worker who occasionally receives love if they manage to impress me. Allow that difference to sink in slowly. It will take time. Old sentences do not disappear in a day. They lose power each time you answer them with truth. When you next feel the urge to prove yourself by taking on more than you can carry, pause for a moment. Ask inside, am I doing this from fear or from love? You may not always know the answer clearly. Still, the question itself begins to shift the ground. If you sense fear, you can whisper, "Teach me another way." If you sense love, you can move forward with a quieter heart. I am not asking you to abandon your responsibilities. I am asking you to walk through them with me, as someone whose worth is anchored elsewhere. Look again at the picture of your family or loved ones, whether on your desk, your phone, or in your memory. Their eyes do not light up because of your job title. They soften because you are you. I see you that way too, with even deeper knowledge and steadiness. Hold this for now. Your work is one place where your care, your intelligence, and your perseverance show up. It is not the measure of your soul. We will continue to walk from fear toward freedom together. You do not have to complete that journey in one leap. Each small step you take in my presence is already part of your healing. Stay with me here a little while longer. You have walked through heavy memories, long days, and honest questions. You have looked at your work, your fear, your tired body, and the people you love. None of this journey has been wasted. Return for a moment to the simple scene where so much of this began. A room that holds you at the end of a long day. The glow of a screen on your face. The familiar weight of the chair beneath you. The quiet hum of a fan or the dim sounds from outside. You once sat in this space feeling as if your whole life was shrinking into tasks and deadlines. You felt as if you were disappearing inside other people's expectations. Inside, you said, "I have nothing left for myself. I have nothing left for my family." I heard those lines then. I hear them now whenever they rise again. Now let this same room become a different kind of place. Not a cell where you are trapped, but a small sanctuary where you and I meet. Feel your feet where they rest. Feel the surface beneath your legs. Feel the way your back settles into the chair or the bed. Notice the air on your skin and the sounds nearest to you. Into this same space, I speak a steady truth. You are more than what you have produced today. Your worth did not increase when you were praised. It did not decrease when you were overlooked. It did not vanish when you made mistakes. It did not double when you worked late. Your worth is held in my hands. You might say, "I do not feel that." I know. Feelings take time to follow truth. Yet even before you sense it clearly, I begin to steady the ground under your feet. Place one hand over your chest, if you can, or imagine doing so. Notice the warmth there. Notice the rise and fall. Each breath is a quiet gift. You did not earn it. You did not schedule it. It arrives because I am still giving you life. You have believed for a long time that to be safe, you must keep giving more than you have. More hours, more effort, more agreement, more silence about your own limits. I am teaching you a different kind of safety. Safety in my presence does not mean that every demand around you disappears. It means that your soul has a home that no demand can invade. Picture that home as a small, steady light inside your chest. Not a harsh lamp, but a gentle glow. It does not burn you. It warms you. When you are in crowded trains, noisy offices, tense meetings, and long nights, that light remains. That light is my presence in you. There will still be days when you feel tired. There will still be weeks when work stretches you close to your limit. I do not promise you a life without effort. I promise you that you will not walk through that effort alone. I am there when you open your eyes to another early morning. I am there when your hand reaches toward your phone. I am there when you choose a small pause before you look at what others expect. I am there in the office or in the place where you feel pressure. I am there in the hallway where you hesitate before a conversation. I am there in the lift, in the corridor, in front of the screen. You may not feel a surge of emotion every time you remember this. That is all right. Many of my deepest works are quiet. Feel the back of your neck, your shoulders, your jaw. If any of them are tight, let them soften a little as you hear me say this. I am not waiting to love you until you become less tired. I love you now, not the polished version of you that you imagine one day. You, in this room, with the phone nearby, with the weariness in your bones and the long list in your mind. You have feared that if you slow down, everything will fall apart. You have feared that if you say no, you will lose your place. You have feared that if you honor your limits, others will think you are weak. Hear me gently. Honoring your humanity is not weakness. It is agreement with how I made you. I did not design you to live as if every moment were an emergency. Your body is allowed to rest. Your mind is allowed to switch off from work. Your heart is allowed to enjoy the people and quiet joys I have placed around you. Think of one simple joy that still touches you, even on hard days. It might be a cup of something warm in your hands, the sound of a familiar laugh, the feel of water on your skin, or the color of the sky at a certain time. That joy is not childish. It is not a distraction from what matters. It is one of the ways I remind you that life is larger than your tasks. I am the one who gives you those moments. You may say, but I do not know how to change everything. You do not have to. I am not placing on you a new burden of perfect balance. I am inviting you into a slow, gentle shift. One more honest sentence about your workload. One more evening where you close the laptop sooner. One more deep breath in the lift before a meeting, remembering you are not alone. One more small look at a loved one's face without your mind rushing back to tasks. These are not small in my eyes. Each one is a step out of captivity and into a freer rhythm. Feel your hands again. Imagine them open on your lap, palms down or palms up. In your mind, place on those hands the pressure you have been carrying, the deadlines, the unpaid bills, the expectations, the fear of disappointing others, the worry about the future. Let those weights rest there for a moment. Now picture my hands beneath yours, larger and steady, holding you and all that you carry. You may not know what will change first. You may not see how every problem will resolve, but you can know this. Nothing that truly matters about you can fall through my fingers. You are not alone in this life of work and responsibility. You are a company. I bless the part of you that wants to show up well. I bless the part of you that still cares, even when you are tired. I bless the part of you that longs to be present for the people you love. I do not bless the lie that you must destroy yourself to prove your value. Let that lie begin to lose its voice. In its place, let another sentence grow. I am loved as I learn, not loved when I succeed, or loved if I never falter. Loved as you learn, learning to rest, learning to speak honestly, learning to ask for help, learning to see work as one part of a life that I hold. You will not do this perfectly. Some days you will forget and slip back into old rhythms. When you notice that, you do not have to punish yourself. Come back to this room in your mind. Feel the chair. Feel your breath. Hear my voice again. I am not tired of you. I do not roll my eyes when you struggle with the same patterns. I do not compare you to others who seem stronger. I do not measure you against an invisible standard of constant productivity. I see your whole story. I see how you reached this point. I see the effort, the loyalty, the hidden tears. I see the small victories that no one else recorded, and I stay. Let those words settle. I stay. I stay when you are efficient. I stay when you are slow. I stay when you feel confident. I stay when you feel lost. I stay when you want to keep working just to avoid your feelings. I stay when you finally close the screen and let the silence come. In that silence, you may begin to hear me more clearly. Hear me now as I bless you. I bless your mind, which has carried schedules, strategies, and worries. May it learn to rest, not only when you sleep, but also in small pauses through the day. I bless your eyes, which have stared at screens and documents and faces full of expectation. May they also linger on things that bring you quiet joy and remind you of beauty. I bless your hands, which have worked and typed and carried. May they also hold cups of warmth, hands of those you love, and simple objects that remind you that you are alive, not just productive. I bless your feet, which walk through busy corridors and crowded streets. May they also walk through quieter paths, even short ones, where you can feel the ground and remember that the world is wider than your workplace. I bless your home, however small or imperfect it feels to you. May it become more and more a place where you can exhale, where laughter and quiet coexist, where you remember that you are cherished. Above all, I bless your heart that has been bruised by pressure and comparison, your heart that has been trained to run faster than its strength, your heart that has wondered whether it is allowed to be soft and tired and still be loved. You are allowed. You are allowed to be human in my presence. You are allowed to need rest. You are allowed to ask for help. You are allowed to grow slowly. Feel the light in the room again, whether it is the glow of a screen, a small lamp, or the faint brightness from outside. Let it remind you of this. Even when your day has felt like night, I have not left. My child, you are not a failed machine. You are a beloved one, learning a new rhythm with me. Rest now. Let your body sink a little more into where it sits or lies. Let your breath be a bit deeper and kinder. Let your thoughts, for this moment, set down the unfinished tasks. I am here. I hold your tomorrow. I do not rush you. I walk with you through every workday and every quiet night. Peace to your mind. Peace to your body. Peace to your home. Peace to the hours that wait ahead. You are mine, and I will not let you go.